What's going on? How's everybody doing, man? Welcome to a new episode of Oh That's Love.
No, it's Oh That's Love.
Nah, it should probably be more like
Oh That's Love.
What's going on with the folks down, man? Listen, tonight a new episode on Oh That's Love. Let me get that muted. But tonight we want to answer you guys' questions. So any questions that you guys may have, start off with them. Just throw them in the comment section. Start them off, whether they be general relationship questions or something directed specifically at our relationship or one of us in general. And we have some questions to start with. So while Tosh is sharing,
sorry, I'm done.
I'm gonna jump into a few questions that were sent to me via some of my friends and family. I even asked my son to answer or ask me a question.
I didn't
condone
any of this.
I asked one of my exes.
I also didn't know any
to
of this.
Answer a question or ask a question about you and I.
Okay.
You ready for that?
Sure.
Y'all ready for that? Do I still got some crumbs on me still, babe?
That's what you get for eating at 59.
Anyway. All right, so this comes in from my man Scat, aka Got You Cracking the F Up on Instagram. A lot of y'all may follow him. He says, what about Taj did it for you? Like, what made you say, oh shit, she's definitely who I want to spend the rest of my life with or be with, however you word it. Same question for her as well. And he also has a follow-up, but you want to go first?
No, go first.
What about me did it for you?
Nope, you go first.
Well, ain't nothing to it yet. The jury's still out on Taj. You know what I'm talking about? So she got stuff to. Nah, I'm just playing. Let me stop. So she knocked the lights over.
Knocked the lights over.
It's a series of things, and ironically, I feel like we was just kind of talking about this last night. There just continues to be things about her and I's relationship that open our eyes together. What I mean by that is things that continue to happen that could only happen if it were her and I. If it were someone else, these certain things wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Like,
for an example, her and I met on the Mushalo. And I bought her a little jewelry to signify that, right? So when her mother first saw the jewelry and asked her, well, why did you get that way? You got an anger tie? I said, well, we met on the Mushalo. And her mother replied that her and her stepfather's first date was on the Mushalo, right? So
23 years ago.
And it's just things, it's little things like that continue to happen. So I know that's kind of like an outside answer, but inside that question, she's the best mix of everything I like in a woman that I've ever had, if that makes sense, right? She's not the smartest, she's not the most attractive, she's not the biggest butt or the whatever you want to say, but if I had to like go through my Rolodex and be like, well, who got the most of everything, it would be Tosh. So that's what made me know I had to keep her, because she got a little bit of everything that I need.
I can't follow that now.
You got to. People want to know the answers to the questions, babe. So,
oh, man.
What made you know I was the boy that?
Who said that you were the boy?
I already did that joke, so get new jokes, John.
First of all, no. It's literally funny that this is the first question that we're opening up with, considering our conversation last night. That's kind of crazy.
It is.
But for me, with Kyrie, there's just this spark that I had and still have every time I'm in his presence, and at that time was in his presence.
Spark ball.
And we talked about this before, because I couldn't understand, and even in me running from him and running from that energy, where it was coming from, and it became a force that was drawn together, and I could not shake it. And as I continue to learn and grow and develop with him as my partner, it grows stronger every day. And so it naturally positions itself to be like, this is my person, because I've never felt the kind of energy or felt so gravitated towards someone, wanting to share everything from jokes to future plans to likes and disinterests to everything that makes up Natasha, and him being a part of it. So
Facts.
he just, I don't know. It's
It's
hard
the bull.
to,
It's spark
it's
bull.
hard
You know what I'm
to
saying?
pinpoint it. But
Scat got one more.
feeling.
He got one more, and we gotta run through these, Jones. We gotta give every question a little bit of
Okay,
time. I'm sorry. I'm
you
sorry
took
too.
a long
I'm not.
time
I'm not
on your
blaming
first
you.
thing.
I'm not. Stop arguing. Oh, that's love. They gonna think it ain't all peaches and cream.
And carry on.
All right, cool.
It wasn't an argue.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? We got fake like we real blissful on here. You know what I'm saying? We got to act like we really in love when we on this program.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Cool story, bro.
Don't show the people the real us.
The question.
Oh, anyway. If you could change one thing about each other, what would it be?
Come on,
Like this is like he say aesthetics though. Like body, hair, face.
Aesthetics.
Keep it a bean. My feelings won't be hurt.
It's not even about hurting your feelings. It's about finding the answer.
Oh, so I'm perfect, boy. That's what she trying to say, dog. You know what I'm saying? She trying to say I'm perfect, boy.
I don't know. Aesthetic?
All right, we'll come back to that.
Maybe you go first.
We'll
I don't know.
think about that. No, you ain't gonna put that shit on me. You ain't put that on me. All right, we're gonna jump to Nas, my little cousin Nas. He said, how do you guys feel hearing people say you don't truly know a person until you see them at their worst? That could mean financially, etc. in life, or it could mean like angry, snapping, dark side. Do you feel like you would have a good reaction to seeing each other from the level we are to our lowest? And do you think that that's true? Like, you don't know a person until you see them at their worst?
I think it holds truth, but I think it depends on the person as well, the situation, the two people that make up that union. Because to say that somebody is at their worst is a relative statement.
Mm-hmm.
I've been, in my opinion, at my worst, but in my, let's say, sister's opinion, it's like, oh, you've been worse, you've done differently. Mm-hmm. So defining that would be the first thing. But for a couple as a unit, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I would be scared to see you in a worse capacity.
And I don't agree. I think you can calculate who someone is and how they would act at their worst. I think you should love your partner at their worst,
right.
You know, and that's if their worst is something outside of them just being a bad person. Like if someone files on financial hard times or emotional hard times or whatever it may be, you should support them. If they just being an asshole and that's like the worst version of themselves or not trying to be the best version of themselves,
right.
Get up out of there.
Get up out of there.
Yeah, get on up out of there. All right, I got Ebony. Ebony asks. Ebony had some juicy ones and a lot of them.
Oh, gosh. I didn't see these questions.
She said, if we were about to get married, how do we both feel about prenups? How you feel?
I don't feel like I need a prenup. And here's the thing, I feel like because we've talked about different ventures and different avenues that we want to move toward, and each time we've had those conversations, it's not been like oh, well, because we're together now, let's do this. No, it's been, I like your savvy, you have complementary traits to mine, we can work together with or without a relationship and still be successful. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I feel like those endeavors would still stand strong even if Tosh and Kyrie were no longer a thing.
I'm not getting no prenup. If I get married, I am staying married. And I don't say that like everybody else say that. Oh, that's what everybody else say. I know that's what y'all thinking. But what I'm saying is I start with love. Unlike most folks, like I got to be deeply in love to the point where if I get married, we just got to work it out. Whatever may, we got to work it out. Like Will and Jada said, like divorce is not an option. So prenup is irrelevant. I'm gonna run through her. She also says, have we discussed finances? That was on last week's or That was last week's episode, so I'm gonna skip that. Go watch last week's episode if you want to know how we feel about yeah. The YouTube airs tomorrow. It's live right now. Tosh, if your best friend believes Kyrie made a pass at her, would you proceed? How would you proceed if he adamantly denied it? So if one of your homies was like, Kai, he pinched my butt a little bit, and he tried to get a piece.
What? Why?
I already know what she's thinking, right? So let me requalify this
because
question.
the real answer to this is Kyrie's not doing that.
I wouldn't do no shit like that.
Yeah, that's not his nature.
So she knows I wouldn't. But here, let me ask you this question just to satisfy the people. Let's say you found out the girl was telling the truth. However you found out it's the truth.
No.
What do you do then?
She told the truth? You did it, or she lied?
I did it. The other side is if she lied. But let's say it's true. You find out I did. What would you do? Would you break up with me?
Look at my eyes. I felt like hurt in that very moment.
Just immediately, are we breaking up or we got something to talk about?
No, we're not breaking up.
All right. If she lied, are you staying with Shorty? She's still cool. If you find out, she says this to multiple people and then you find out for a fact it was a lie.
I'm going to fall back, but I'm going to be clear as to why, but I'm not going to just completely walk away. I'm going to have that conversation and I'm going to tell you, so because of this, I'm just going to take a step back for me for a little bit because that's just not cool. And then it would be like, what are your issues that you had to make up a lie?
There we go. Listen, if you're watching, leave your questions too. We got plenty of questions from our folks, but if you're watching, leave a question. My sis Tiff says, Are you intentional about creating experiences that promote bonding and intimacy, or do you just allow things to happen organically? Organically, they ain't got no T.
Yeah, what organically?
Organically.
Okay then.
That was my ratchet side jumping out.
Organically.
You know what I'm saying? It's true that I'm organic.
You go first. Answer the question.
We
Nope,
do
she
both.
gotta go.
I said nope. She got to go. We do both. So what I mean by that is, I think I would say I'm more romantic than you, Taj. Would you agree?
Yeah, but that's only because you're tapping into this whole new love language of
That ain't got
yourself.
a damn thing to do with
Yes,
nothing.
it does. Yes, it does. I believe it does.
Bruh.
You just want to do everything
she owe me some
to
romantic
see me
stuff.
smile.
That's all. But no, we were, before Corona, we made a commitment to do date night. Mm-hmm. We were a handful of date nights in. Mm-hmm. So the way that works is Taj picks plans and pays for a date. And then the next time it's my turn. I pick, plan, and pay for a date. And there's no limits. Like, we can take a trip. We can, you can spend some money. You can not spend some money. It's not about that. It's about a different experience every time between us two. And that was something we talked about early in our relationship, where we was like, let's do this. Because we both busy. We busy as hell. We was like, we got to take some time out to commit to each other and just have each other time. Yeah. So I think that answer.
Date night.
Yeah, date night was... That the last date night, I was great. Fucking Bob. Corona was like, no, bro, you can't go there. But when she also says, when you see an opportunity arise out of maybe a normal mundane activity, do you pivot and change direction to make the moment happen, or just go with the flow sometimes and letting an opportunity escape you? I don't know. Is that a sexual?
I just want you to know that you read these questions too fast, and I take a little bit more time to process.
I'm sorry. When you see an opportunity,
never mind.
I don't know if Tiff means that's sexual or not. But if that's how you talking,
I feel like you need to read it one more time to me.
When you see an opportunity arise out of maybe a normal mundane activity, do you pivot and change direction, or do you make the moment happen just to go with the flow sometimes, letting an opportunity escape you? Or just go with the flow, letting an opportunity escape you.
I could see how you lean to sex for that.
A little spontaneity. I'm spontaneity bull.
That's not a bull.
They call me SP.
Anyways,
Spontaneous.
If it was about sex, then yes, if the spirit moves you, we could be working and the spirit moves you.
You're gonna need more than the spirit to get me up off your ass.
All right.
So Zach James chimed in. He said he got 2. He got he actually says this is the same question. What was different about Taj? It's the same thing that Scat asked. The difference in his question that I'll address, though, that we addressed on a previous episode, is not the word different, but the word special, because I've been asked that. And what her and I have agreed to is that when you find that special someone, it's not really anything special about them. It's that whatever you are, they complement well, right? So it's not like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, she got the biggest ass I ever had. That's what's so special. I had to lock that booty down. Like, it got nothing to do with none of that. It has to do with the person that I am behind closed doors. She is either enough of or not enough of that we mix well. We just mesh well in so many different areas and aspects. So I think I took that one. You've never been with a woman this deep before. This is somebody that obviously knows me. This is Zach. How has it changed your perspective on everything else in your life, work, relationships, etc.?
That's a good question.
It is. That's a good question. I'll say that. I'll say that quite honestly, it made me wish 2 things: finding Taj and falling for Taj the way that I have made me wish 2 things. As I realized our hair light ain't on. Let me turn on our hair light.
Our hair light?
Yeah, because you got the production elements got to be popping.
Yeah, no wonder
they
I
gonna
kept
see
fixing
the difference.
my hair. 'Cause I was like,
you always fixing your hair. We're not going to do that.
Right.
Anywho, since finding Taj,
my new Kyrie.
That's what they keep hashtagging my new Kyrie.
I love that hashtag.
Anyway, I'm new bull. But 2 things that I wish. One, I didn't have my father, and I didn't have any other father figures in my life coming up until I was almost 30, was when I met a man who I respected and said if I could be like him, I'd be all right. So I wish I had a mentor in my life or a father in my life that coulda, woulda told me why not to be so into women as I was, right? Because I fell victim to just pursuing women, thinking like that gave me clout, and like I was, unfortunately now, and it's funny that I said this, but being attractive and charismatic and being able to get women that you want, it can be the gift and the curse, because if you abuse that, you're missing out and losing out on other prosperous things. And now, having Tosh, it's like I know that I have 2 boys, so I know that they're going to get into women one day. They're going to get in relationships, whatever it may be. But now being with her has changed what I'll say to them, because I wish I had found her earlier. I wish I had found Taj 10 years ago, well, maybe not, because then you would have been 17 and I would have been
10 years ago, I was not 17.
Well, you'd have been 20. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I carried the one the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You'd have been 20, so that would have been okay. I'd have been 28. You know what I'm saying? She'd have been. But the age, where the age is matters.
Me at 20 and me at 28.
Right.
Whoa.
Right. So I'll take that back, because where your age is matters more than how old you are.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yes, I am my new Kyrie, Zach J. So listen, I asked my son to send in a question.
Kyrie.
Cat, he's about to be 14 in just 2 weeks. And I also asked one of my exes to chime in. So y'all
keep saying this.
Stay tuned for
know.
that. I'm not. See, you could tell when somebody's not trained in media, like this one over here.
Not trained.
I'm coaching her up though. Yes, babe. When you go on the show,
what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know.
Keep the people engaged and involved. You know what I'm saying?
I got it once.
Zach, can you tell her?
I got it once I realized what was happening.
You keep saying that. You keep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming. It's to come. So here's what my son said. Cat says, what made y'all fall for each other? When did y'all know it was true love and not just something good for the moment?
Oh, Cat okay.
A little mature, little question.
I know. He's so cute.
So yeah, you take that one.
Yeah.
When did you decide? Cause she ran from me for a minute. So when did you decide? You know what? Let me let this thing a little catch me or whatever.
So when did I decide to allow us to be a thing, or when did I realize that I was in love with you?
Well, his is more when did you realize you was in love? So go ahead, take that.
It was January. We had been spending a lot of time together, but not just the time, but the conversations that we were having during those moments in time. Because as you mentioned, we both had a lot of schedule, but we were being intentional on making time for one another that mattered. Wasn't just wasted. It wasn't just dates and just random things, but we were really just seeking to understand the person that was sitting across from us or sitting next to us. And I really just started to recognize in my own right that I was being more forthcoming, being more open, being more honest, and being more vulnerable with somebody than I had in the past, and that I had in such a short amount of time. And then we went on our first little getaway together, which was Florida. And that was late January. And the L word came about on January 23rd of 2020.
Damn. So that's technically our anniversary, January 23rd, y'all. That's when we decided that we was in love. I'm trying to find the questions from oh, okay, here we go. All right, so we got some.
And ask more questions too. We obviously have all these queued up questions, but please put your questions in the comments.
Yeah, facts. All right, so Born to Be a Star says, oh, this one is juicy. I might should save this to the end too. She says, what is your policy on threesomes and polyamory? You ready to do that now?
You've already positioned the question.
All right, well, it's out there now. Was I a little threesome? Was I? So if y'all don't know me, I've actually experienced a polyamorous relationship before. Would I do it again? The answer is not no, but the answer is I'm not looking to do it again. But I have learned enough that life takes you certain places, and if that was the place where life took us, I wouldn't just be like, no, get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that. I wouldn't do that. But I've been there, done that. That's not what I'm looking for. Tosh makes me happy.
It's good answer. Oh, feel it for you. Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Number one.
Number one answer. My answer is short and sweet. We're open to keeping it spicy in the bedroom.
Little spice.
Little spice.
Little jalapeno.
Little jalapeno.
Little jalapeno. What about
jalapeno
ghost,
popper.
What
That's
about
it.
A ghost pepper. We can't do a little ghost pepper. That's too much spice. That's too much spice. He needs some milk. Oh shit.
Why would you scream that in my ear?
We are. We're not. Let's say we're not closed when it comes to sexuality. We are interested in keeping it spicy for a long time. Okay?
Yeah, we don't want to get bored.
Yeah, we don't want to just do the same thing in the bedroom all the time. So I hope that answers your question enough. Sonny, my man Sonny the host says, what is a woman's tolerance level of sensitivity in a man on a scale of 1 to 10? A 10 being he cries every day. a one being he a strong, mean, masculine man. That's not what his question say, but I guess he got cut off. But
okay. I like a little sensitivity. Every time I feel like you cry on every episode, so it works. Either you talk about crying or you cry, because you cries too, baby. But yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with a man that understands his emotions. It's not necessarily about being sensitive or just levels in to that question's point, but just understanding your emotions to be able to connect with your partner. I feel like because Kyrie is comfortable in his manhood and can be vulnerable in moments and be masculine in others, if you will, that allows him to connect further with me and being more aware with my needs and my expectations and how to help me work through something that I'm going on, because he's not just completely so far removed from it. So that, to me, I welcome a little bit of emotional awareness is what I'll call it, rather than sensitivity.
A little sensitive ass. I mean, I guess that's more so. It was directed for the women, so I'll let that one chill, and I'll move on. I'm gonna go to the X next, but who was I? Ebony had one more. She said, if I found out there was a sex tape in the streets with Taj, with multiple partners, what would I do? Multiple. Damn. Is this like, if this is a threesome, I can handle it. If this is a girl and another guy, I can handle it. It ain't about nothing. We all, you know what I'm saying, got busy. But if it's two players playing ping pong with Tosh, I don't know. I might need that. What was you into, baby? I gotta check the date on the tape. It better be old. It's
not ping pong with Taj.
That's woo. I think I'll lose my stuff. See, you know what's crazy?
Would you really lose your stuff?
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about me. You already know this about me, but I gotta tell the people. The way I am is like this. If she told me, like, even if right now as we sit here right now, if she told me, like, look, this happened before, I wanted to try it, and I knew, and I had that opportunity to choose to still be with her, then I wouldn't give a damn if the tape popped out later and they was playing ping pong with the Taj. I'd be like, damn, I wouldn't want to see it or nothing. But she already told me, I was prepared, it happened, whatever. Now, if she didn't tell me and it popped out, that's, we might have a little, I don't know if I want to talk about it or if it's a deal breaker. I don't know. But it would be more so a deal breaker on the, I don't know who you are. Like, you left out. This is a big piece. This is two big pieces. You left out.
No, not
you left these out. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man.
No.
That's how I would be, man. Listen, I'm going to read Naz's comment, and then I'll get to some more questions. And I want y'all to know, too, I'm looking at my phone for the questions. I'm not being rude and disengaged. I wouldn't agree. All the females I wouldn't agree. This you got to be more.
I wouldn't agree through all the females and we eventually find and pick out all the things we liked, and now you put all that together and got it in one. Talking about, I guess the question when asking about you and I, knowing exactly how you wanted to treat that woman when you found her. I'm glad you found her now. Your soul wasn't mature enough for Tosh back then.
So. Oh, he's saying you wouldn't agree that I wouldn't at 28 I wouldn't have been ready for you. You probably right. And as she said, she wouldn't have been ready for me either. Once again, if y'all got any more comments, we're gonna be on for another maybe 10 minutes. So drop y'all comments or questions now. Questions for me, questions for just her, or questions for us together, or general relationship questions all together. So someone from my past, Jessica. She says,
someone from my past,
one of my old Jones. And happy birthday, Jessica. It's her birthday today. How did you deal with his relations with other women when trying to establish if you wanted to build a relationship with me?
So this is a great question.
And she goes on to say she means business relations, but you can answer both ways because...
Oh, I didn't think that.
I say that because that has been a problem for me because of the industry I work in. I'm always around beautiful women, so some women have had insecurities. So, but you also know, like I kept it such a beam with Tosh early on, like the dude I am, how I dealt with women, who I dealt with, all those things, just so that she can't have no one else rather can have anything to hang over her head about Kyrie. She knows about Kyrie and she chooses to be with Kyrie.
Yeah.
So that's why like I can freely say some of the things that I say because she already know. But go ahead. What did that do in your mind about this nigga got all the bitches?
This guy. Well, it's funny that this is a question because I feel like this question has come up before, but we've left it on a cliffhanger and then we never came back to it. But I didn't know the Kyrie Terrell. Like I had no idea, no clue, no knowledge of this man until I was invited on his show. And even after that and us getting to know each other in my like evading him slightly, I still didn't know this guy. So
evade me a lot.
All right. Well, it happens. I still didn't know him. So I didn't learn Kyrie Terrell and the past escalades of Kyrie. Escapades.
For Cadillac, baby?
I thought you had an Escalade, baby. Anyways, I didn't learn all that stuff until Kyrie told me. So as he mentioned, just being open and honest and transparent in our relationship and telling me, you know, everything that could potentially come up. I didn't know, but learning it the way that I learned it from the person rather than just in passing or from someone else's sharing made it a lot easier to be comfortable with, especially when that person tells you that even though this is what I've done, I am choosing you. I don't want to do that anymore and I want to be better and different for you. So I have no issues. And then I also have no issues with the industry because at the end of the day, let's get this shmoney, okay?
let's get it crack.
Let's
you know
get
what I'm saying?
Shmoney.
Because me and my baby is partners in relationship and business. You know what I'm saying? And that brings us to Lachey. Is it Lachey or Lashia? Saunders. What are y'all advice on starting a business and where should I start? So you got your own business. I got my own business. And we had businesses together. We got business. You know what I'm saying? The first place you should start, the very, 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 very first place you should start, Miss Saunders, is with why. Okay? Start with why. There's actually a great book, I want to say it's by Simon Sinek, called Start With Why. And I'll lend you some of the knowledge in that book that is this that thing that really keeps you up at night? Is this that thing that you can't stop researching? You're so interested about? Is this that thing that you tell other people about all the time and they be like, all right, go ahead with your little cookie business? Like, it gotta be that thing, right? And then with that thing, you have to be fascinated with servicing people with that thing, right? Every business comes down to making money at the end of the day, right? But if you go into business with making money as the reason you're getting out of business, if that's your why, I'm trying to make money, I'm trying to flip this and flip that, it's just not going to work for you, you know? So I would say the very, very first thing you have to do is start with why. And then once you start with why, number 2 for me, and then I'm going to pass it to Tosh, is carve out a plot of time to work that business. Don't just get into the business and be like, oh, things is going bad and you just fold. It takes time to become successful. I did not start making good money in my business until I was 5 years in. Had I quit 3-4 years in, I would have never got to the point where I started to make 6 figures on my own, right? So carve out some time. I'm not saying do it forever if it's just draining you, right? Because sometimes we got to bump our head and learn. Even though I love that thing, I couldn't perfect it. That's okay. But give yourself time. You might need 5 years, 6 years. You might have to say, I'm going to give this my all for 5 years and then reevaluate. All right, so those are my 2 tips on where to start, the first 2.
For me, my biggest thing is confidence. Be confident that you can start a project and finish it, or if you can't finish it the way that you decided, that you're comfortable in pivoting. And we talked about this last week with just everyone else's opinions matter too much. And you're working on something that is passionate to you. It's your passion project, or it's just something that you do very well and feel like I can make money off of this. Be comfortable in that and knowing that I have the tools to make this work. I can research the tools to make it work, or I can YouTube University this situation.
Facts.
Regardless, but find the confidence within you. I think that was a large a big thing for me in developing Travel with Tosh and just like sticking to what I felt was right for me, not necessarily adapting to other people's styles, and then watching other people adapt my style because of my confidence. So that would be my number one thing, and that really kind of guides me through the rest of my ventures because I'm just confident that I can work through it. I missed that. I don't know.
Shanae Frazier says, "Why you was running from the bull? Like, what was your reason for trying to get away? Like?"
And we go into this in more detail in episode 2, Shanae. So if you have time, watch it. But originally, initially when we met, I just really didn't care to be involved with anybody. I didn't really want to share my time. I was working on myself, working on my business, and I just didn't care. Like, that's the honest truth. I didn't care. I told you that. I didn't tell you that. I had 0 picks. I didn't care.
I don't give a damn what you ain't care about.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you told me.
And not in a rude way. I just was focused.
This where you supposed to have been at, baby.
But
rip.
In due time.
No,
because
from rip.
I feel like the timing of it was perfect. In the way in which we reconnected, it just happened the way it was supposed to. But
she almost ain't had me, Shanae.
I did. I almost missed out.
She almost ain't have all this.
But I was just focused on myself, my business, my growth, what I was doing, and I just really didn't feel like, and it was genuine, like I didn't feel like the emotional and commitment and all of that stuff that you have to do when just getting to know somebody. I was like, I don't have time for this right now.
And I'm gonna drop a little gem that the men might get mad at me for dropping, but this one is for the women, okay? When a man wants you to be his, right? He's intentional.
Right.
Okay? So my intentions are what broke Tosh down. And I don't want to say that in a way that's like she wasn't showing any signs of being interested and I was this crazy stalker dude that kept trying to get with her.
No, that wasn't that.
We was playing a little cat and mouse for a little while, but
you didn't feel stalkery though.
I'm not gonna feel stalkery. You see me over here, like, you know what I'm saying. At a certain point, it's gonna be your loss, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. At a certain point, you know what I mean. But no, but I was intentional about the things I did for her, with her, the way I spoke to her, the way I treated her, the whole 9, because she was really the first woman that I was with that I was at, I don't want to say an age, but a maturity level and a tiredness level of just, you know, dating and the rigmarole and this chick and that chick and the whole 9, where I said, you know what, I'm gonna start intentional with her, you know what I mean, and come whatever may, you know. So that's just a tip for the ladies. Like, it will feel like he's pursuing you number 1 if he really wants to. You won't have to question, because I see those questions all the time. Well, how you know if he like you, or how many times is too many to wait for this and da-da. You'll feel it. You'll know. If he's being intentional, you'll feel it. You will be, at least you'll be number 1. Because even when I first met Tosh, like, she wasn't like number 1. She was like in my Rolodex of chicks that I had, but she immediately was like, all right, I'm going to be intentional about this one in my head, in my mind, you know what I'm saying? And I treated her that way. So keep that open, keep that in your mind. Sort of, how do you handle the fact that Kyrie has kids and you don't? For some folks, that's a deal breaker.
Funny enough,
what's up, Lee Marie?
It used to be my deal breaker
Till she met the bull.
I mean, again, that's why I talked earlier about timing. Timing is really everything, because I would probably say up until August or September of last year is really where that shifted for me. But before that, I was stand clear of any man that had children already. It just wasn't a thing. I didn't want that extra. And it was for selfish reasons. Like, you know, I've briefly talked to someone who had kids, and it was a struggle, because you don't want to be the person that's like, oh, let's go out here tonight. Oh, I can't. I got to go to my daughter's ballet recital. Like, oh, let's go out here. Oh, my daughter's got a karate camp. Like, and you don't want to be that person that's like, okay, like, what else do she got? Like, because that's rude. And so I was like, no men with kids, that's just not my thing. And then recently, or like I said, as of August or September, I realized that I don't want children. Like, I come from a very large family, and the youngest of my siblings is 8 years old, and I'm very much still involved with their upbringing and their development, and that still seems like a full-time job. I'm not comparing it to being a parent, but there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. So I do not want children. So there it happened, or that realization occurred, and then this man with children came out of nowhere, but not even the fact that he has children, but about the way that he treats me, about the way that he includes me in his, when we're dealing with the kids and everything, it just feels comfortable and right. So it doesn't bother me at all. And I welcome it. So I have a little extra family.
There it is. And we match in that way, because I'm great getting my tubes tied. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm getting ready to be shooting the club up. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody gonna live, though. They gonna be, yeah, these is blanks, player. Everyone's okay. Anyway.
The ridiculousness. Oh, my God.
Shanae is a good friend of mine. We go way, way back. She says, what I can say to Kyrie is that I didn't always agree with your way of life, your way of living. But what I can say is that I always respected your honesty with women, and you giving them the choice to decide whether or not they wanted to be with you in the way that you were choosing to live. More men should adopt those principles. They may still get what they want. Shanae, I couldn't say it no plainer. Like you
say it all the time.
Yeah, and Shanae knows me. Like she's one of Bird's good friends. So we all used to be like the little rat pack. So she knows and has heard and has seen and been around, a lot of my shenanigans, and they know that, like, one thing that's always been an eyebrow raise is like they know he did it, they know this, and he's like, yeah, Kyrie be telling them, and it's like I always knew what was for me, and I always wanted to have the things and live the way I wanted to without restraints, and those restraints have to be restraints that you are not putting on other people. And that's where a lot of things break down, because when I say that, I mean when you don't tell someone what you really get into and how you really live and all of that, that's when problems come about. But I never had a problem finding women that were open and interested into the things I was into, and mainly what I'm saying, like, I'm not no crazy, like, yo, some people that don't know me probably like, what is this nigga into? Like, my thing was always just variety and freedom. I always had multiple women. I always was open and honest with those women and letting them know, look, this ain't gonna be a relationship, or if it is gonna be a relationship, she gonna be in a relationship too, or whatever it might have been, so that got me far, just being honest, just being open and honest and letting people choose, right. Giving people the right to say, to know what they signed up for rather than be blindsided one day it's powerful, so
it really is, and I'm learning that from you.
Look, Chrissy said, facts, Nate, Kai always been 100. That's why all y'all girlfriends ran from me back in the day. Y'all was probably telling them like, no, Kai ain't only unless you want. Y'all probably, I was supposed to have.
You done?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Look, I can't reminisce.
No, you always want to reminisce. Old head stuff.
Look, she said they always want to call us crazy like we already knew. Oh, man. Shanae, remember when I came to Bird birthday party?
Sir.
I mean, not the birthday party. The baby shower. Aiden baby shower. And I had 2 on my head. Remember that?
Are you done? Like,
Chrissy was dead too.
Get off of me. Why are you putting your leg on me?
Because I'm getting comfortable with it. They couldn't believe it. Gosh, I came through with 2 on the head. People. Is they both? Is that? And my ex was there, remember?
Why are you yelling like they're here?
It's funny, man. It's funny, man. Oh, we could talk about it now, but back then,
oh my gosh. So again, I know what I signed up for, but this is my new Kyrie.
It is.
And
it's the boy, my new Kyrie. It's the boy M&K.
You're annoying.
I'm all sweaty.
Oh my gosh. if you guys have any other questions, please drop them now.
Oh man.
To rail this back in. While you guys are thinking of questions, we do want to let you know that this is episode 9 of 10 for our season. So that's
right. Oh, that's love is seasonal.
One more live episode to go. But next week's episode will be a recap of everything.
So, we got a little break next week. Next week y'all will see some of the trailers that we've been popping up, but we'll pop in a little bit. It just won't be the regular episode. Obviously, we got to tee it up for y'all and the episode for y'all. But we just going back down memory lane so y'all can see some of what y'all missed. If y'all been following Oh That's Love, it always comes on YouTube the next day or next couple of days, but it goes up on YouTube. And then the 10th, we're going to be talking about...
Is it the 10th or is it the 11th?
It's the 11th. It's the 11th. You're right, boo.
You're right. The 11th is going to be our season finale.
It's our season finale. I can't tell you what it is.
Don't tell them.
And next season, we're going to be looking for couples, man. So if you are in a great relationship, even a not so great relationship, and you want to come on Oh That's Love and just talk with us, talk shop with us about, couples and relationships. The goal of Oh That's Love is really to help strengthen couples and relationships, right? I think personally I'm uniquely qualified to talk on the situation because of my past and my history. But me and Tasha are brand new. We want to bring on some couples that maybe been together for 30 years, 40 years making it work. You know what I'm saying? We want to bring on some other new young couples. We want to learn the new young buck, perspective on relationships and the whole nine. So if you be interested in coming on, just drop me a little inbox or something like that. You know what I mean? And we might work that out for next season when we start bringing some couples in. When we allowed to be next to each other when this when this corona dies.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
There's no other questions that came through, so.
Yeah, no other ones. So we appreciate y'all for watching, man. It's time for us
to hanging out tonight.
To get up out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe, boo.